Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Morrowind. When we last left off, we were exploring this dwarven ruin, and now we're going to explore this dwarven ruin because we are looking for a Dwemer puzzle box or something along those lines. We've not yet found it. What we have found are some very weak enemies, some very feeble spiders, some very fragile spheres, and one particularly weedy ghost. But you know what? I don't mind. At the pace these videos have been going at, it's probably good for me to just be able to cleave my way through some stuff for a bit. Now luckily, because I never close doors behind me, we can very quickly see where I've been. Ooh, what's that effect? Not seen that one before. Burden. Ooh, nice. Okay. That side's all clear, but these spiders want to go. I like how this... It's weird. The ones in Skyrim seem wholly metal, but these seem to have some kind of organic element to them. That or just the animation on the metal's really weird. Oh, come on. You have an over 50% chance to cast this. I don't really need to do this, obviously, but I figure might as well save as many potions as possible. I think I'll use potions in combat, spells out of combat. Seems like the best way to do things. Should I ever need to use a potion in combat ever again, because my goodness gracious. These are nothing. And of course, if I see a bed anywhere, I will immediately nap. I used my my scroll of unlocking, I'm sorry to say, so I cannot get that booty, but whatever it was, I'm sure it was good stuff, but it's not for me. But yeah, if I see a bed, I'll have a rest. In fact, just so people don't get too upset, let's quick save it. Let's see if I can rest here. Oh, no, can't rest. Enemies nearby. Well, you can't say I didn't try. I expect either getting done with this ruin or finding a bed or something inside this ruin is gonna have to be how I find my way through. I'm liking all the noises. Heaven's Gallery, I've already been here. Somewhere new though? Can't tell. This looks like someone I've met before. So we haven't been here according to the darkness of this map. Rusted Dwemer Cabinet. Get more of these coins. Will hopefully earn me a bit of coin. Alright, cool. Better check the crates. It's not as if I know where this puzzle box is going to be. It could be in the most random and mundane of places. Alright. Check here one last time. See, it looks like we haven't been everywhere here yet. So let's go down here. There we go, a little spider. I thought I could hear some clicky clacking. And there's a ghost. Last I remember, these ghosts are not that big of a threat. They're casting some kind of a spell, but it just doesn't seem to bother me. Like, I don't mind. Alright, I'm missing a lot. Let's see if I've got any fatigue. Choke that down. Kajeeps. Let's finish this ghost off. Whew. You've got some welly, my ghosty friend. Let's chug a magic potion. Alright, scrap metal. I'm never going to pick the scrap metal up because it is way too heavy. Ectoplasm, though, if I can get at that. Alright, so suppose corpse. There we go. Easy peasy. So let us just recover our health. And on we go. The clattering noise tells me that more combat awaits us. Probably around that corner. I'm going to check here first. There's a whole lot of nothing here. A whole lot of nothing there. Let's go. Alright, start with the ineffectual thrust. And then go into the correct movements for an axe. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Alright, there's more. I can feel it. Like so far, I like how so far the doors have been more dangerous than the enemies. Yeah, Mum. Oh, I've been staggered. I want to actually look at what they're doing. Are they cursing my willpower? That's not a problem. I don't care about that. At all. Yeah, item has no charge. It's not as if I care. take that. Okay, cool. Could the puzzle box be here? Nope. Oh, got a coin though. Very nice. Oh, what's that? A goblet. Oh, what's this? Is that another coin? Nice. I sort of almost got stuck there. So let's quick save it just in case anything unseemly happens. Oh, an ornate chest. Armor rating of 7. I don't use heavy armor. Ancient Dwemer door key could be useful. Hammer. I will give those a try at some point, I'm sure. What's this? A diamond. Don't mind if I do. Do not mind if I decide that yes, I will take that diamond. Okay, here we go. Found a stairway up, which I think is going to lead us somewhere we've not been to yet. How exciting. Yeah, it looks like we've not really explored this area. What do we got? Deep Ore Passage. Oh, looks like I have been here, actually. Looks like I've very much been here. So let's go back to Land's Blood Gallery. So now I want to go to Heaven's Gallery. In search of new horizons. Okay, it looks like down there is somewhere we haven't really fully explored, so let's go. Let's have a look. Feels like we're actually... No, we have been... Ah, it was the jump I couldn't make, isn't it? Something tells me that we can make that jump if we just give it a real good try, so... Don't care about the candle. Looks like there's nothing good here. So I'm gonna stick this on walk for a bit, which I know is upsetting, but I want my stamina to go back up on the off chance that that actually has something to do with successfully making this jump. So first of all, let's successfully make this jump. Whoops, nearly died. So I'll see you when my stamina's up. Okay, all my acrobatic skill has led to this. We can do it. We can make... We can't make it if we don't actually jump. That is something I've identified here. Pro gameplay strats. Let's try it again. We can do it! Come on. Oh. I'm not giving up on this. I'm not. I'll catch up with you when I'm actually on the other side. Alright. Had a little jump around, a few falls in lava. Wondering if these pipes are at all the correct choice. This could be the way that I make it over. Ooh! Hey! Jumping puzzle achieved. Alright, let's go. Let's carry on. We are finding that cube today. We are making... Ha! I'm not afraid of you. Yeah, for me. God. Beto. Like a Beto male, am I right, bros? Disclaimer, I'm not your bro, I'll never be your bro. Shut up. Okay, well, as cool as my jumping puzzle shenanigans were, seems to have taken us nowhere good. This seems like an utter waste of time. But maybe if I just hammer the E button enough times, I'll suss something else out. Well, I think we can get up here. I think we can do it. There we go. Okay. Well, we're here now. To what end? Couldn't possibly tell you. But we are here, so I'm going to quick save to commemorate that. Can we jump on that thing? No. Okay. Is this goo in any way dangerous? Yeah? Dangerous goo? Come on. Just hammer that E button. Hammer the E button until stuff happens. It's dangerous goo. Is it dangerous goo? Oh, here we go. Nope, this is not dangerous goo. This is safe goo. Okay. Well then, can we ride this? That's all? Can we move anywhere with this? No. Feel like no game would base an actual objective around something this fiddly and daft. So I think we are in fact just in a dead end. Back we go. Back we go. We thought we were so cool jumping over this bridge. But it just turned out to be a waste of everyone's time, so... The hunt for the cube continues. Let's go back to Weeping Bell Hall. It's very possible. There's something I didn't... Yeah, there's actually... it's very possible that I've not been here because there's fucking nothing in the map filled in. So here we go. New territory, after all, in the Weeping Bell Hall. We have Hall of Centrifuge. That sounds promising. It's certainly dark and spooky. Oh no, it isn't. It's actually quite bright. Guess just in the first few moments when the map loaded, it was dark and spooky. What's this? An ornate picture. Some spoopy green candles. Who lit them? Was it you? Got a nice... You have a nice innocent face. Why are we fighting like this? Christus line. I don't know, like, are these people actually plot important, or does just every randomer in this game have a name? Because that's kind of cool if so, but still kind of odd. Not used to that. Not used to people being called more than just bandit. Not used to my kills being humanized. Alright.
Your skills fail you.
Well, I'm surprised you've lived this long, to be honest, but there you go. This was fated. Ooh, common shirt. Very common indeed. Still no sign of a, Still no sign of a cube, but I have found a tube. Never mind. Ooh, what's this? A Dance in Fire, Chapter 4. Well... starting a book halfway through is pretty shit, but you know what? It's time to read. Let's read. A Dance in Fire, Chapter 4 by Wao Hin Yarth. 18 Bosmeri and 1 Cyrodiilic former senior clerk for an Imperial Building Commission trudged through the jungle westward from Xylo River to the ancient village of Vindisi. For Decimus Scotti, the jungle was hostile, unfamiliar ground. The enormous, vermiculated trees filled the bright morning with darkness, and resembled nothing so much as grasping claws, bent on impeding their progress. Even the fronds of the low plants quivered with malevolent energy. What was worse, he was not alone in his anxiety. His fellow travellers, the natives who had survived the Khajiit attacks on the villages of Granos and Athe, wore faces of undisguised fear. There was something sentient in the jungle, and not merely the mad but benevolent indigenous spirits. In his peripheral vision, Scott could see the shadows of the Khajiit following the refugees, leaping from tree to tree. When he turned to face them, the lithe forms vanished into the gloom, as if they had never been there. But he knew he had seen them, and the Bosmari saw them too, and quickened their pace. After 18 hours, bitten raw by insects, scratched by 1,000 thorns, they emerged into a valley clearing. It was night, but a row of blazing torches greeted them, illuminating the leather-wrought tents and jumbled stones of the hamlet of Vindisi. At the end of the valley, the torches marked a sacred site, a gnarled bower of trees pressed close together to form a temple. Wordlessly, the Bosmeri walked the torch arcade towards the trees. Scotty followed them. When they reached the solid mass of living wood with only one gaping portal, Scotty could see a dim blue light glowing within. A low, sonorous moan from 100 voices echoed within. The Bosmeri maiden he had been following held out her hand, stopping him.
You do not understand, but no outsider, not even a friend, may enter, she said. This is a holy place.
Scotty nodded and watched the refugees march into the temple, heads bowed. Their voices joined with the ones within. When the last wood elf had gone inside, Scotty turned his attention back to the village. There must be food to be had somewhere. A tendril of smoke and a faint whiff of roasting venison beyond the torchlight led him. They were 5 Cyrodiils, 2 Bretons and a Nord. The group gathered around a campfire of glowing white stones, pulling steaming strips of meat from the cadaver of a great stag. At Scotty's approach they rose up, all but the Nord, who was distracted by his hunk of animal flesh. Good evening. Sorry to interrupt, but I was wondering if I might have a little something to eat. I'm afraid I'm rather hungry, after walking all day with some refugees from Grenos and Athe. They bade him to sit down and eat and introduce themselves. "So the war's back on, it seems," said Scotty amiably.
Best thing for these effete do-nothings, replied the Nord between bites. I've never seen
such a lazy culture. Now they've got the Khajiiti striking them on the land, and the High Elves at sea. If there's any province that deserves little distress, it's damnable Valenwood. "I don't see how they're so offensive to you," laughed one of the Bretons. "They're congenital thieves, even worse than the Khajiiti because they are so blessed meek in their aggression." The Nord spat out a gob of fat which sizzled on the hot stones of the fire. "They spread their forests into territory that doesn't belong to them, slowly infiltrating their neighbours, and they're puzzled when elsewhere shoves back at them. They're all villains of the worst order." "So what are you doing here?" asked Scotty. "I'm a diplomat from the court of Johanna," muttered the Nord, returning to his food. "What about you? What are you doing here?" asked one of the Cyrodiils. "I work for Lord Atreus' building commission in the Imperial City," said Scotty. "One of my former colleagues suggested that I come down to Valenwood. He said the war was over, and I could contract a great deal of business for my firm rebuilding what was lost. One disaster after another, and I've lost all my money, and suddenly I'm Cockney Australian. I'm in the middle of rekindling a war, and I cannot find my former colleague." "Your former colleague," murmured another of the Cyrodiils, who had introduced himself as Regulus. He wasn't by any chance named Leodis Juris, was he?" "You know him?" "He lured me down to Valenwood in nearly the exact same circumstances," smiled Regulus grimly. "I worked for your employer's competitor, Lord Venich's men, where Leodis Juris also formerly worked. He wrote to me asking that I represent an Imperial Building Commission and contract some post-war construction. I had just been released from my employment, and I thought that if I brought some new business, I could have my job back. Juris and I met in Athay, and he said he was going to arrange a very lucrative meeting with the Sylvanar." Scotty was stunned. "Where is he now?" "I'm no theologian, so I couldn't say," Redglius shrugged. "He's dead. When the Khajiiti attacked Athay, they began by torching the harbour where Juris was readying his boat, or I should say, my boat, since it was purchased with the gold I brought. By the time we were even aware of what was happening enough to flee, everything by the water was ash. The Khajiiti may be animals, but they know how to arrange an attack." "I think they followed us through the jungle to Vindisi," said Scotty nervously. "There was definitely a group of something jumping along the treetops." "Probably one of the monkey folk," snorted the Nord. "Nothing to be concerned about." "When we first came to Vindisi and the Bosmeri all entered that tree, they were furious, whispering something about unleashing an ancient terror on their enemies." The Breton shivered, remembering. "They've been here ever since, for over a day and a half now. If you want something to be afraid of, that's the direction to look." The other Breton, who was a representative of the Daggerfall Mages Guild, was staring off into the darkness while his fellow provincial spoke. "Maybe. But there's something in the jungle too, right on the edge of the village, looking in." "More refugees, maybe?" asked Scotty, trying to keep the alarm out of his voice. "Not unless they're travelling through trees now," whispered the wizard. The Nord and one of the Cyrodiils grabbed a long tarp of wet leather and pulled it across the fire, instantly extinguishing it without so much as a sizzle. Now Scotty could see the intruders, their elliptical yellow eyes and long, cruel blades catching the torchlight. He froze with fear, praying that he too was not so visible to them. He felt something bump against his back and gasped. Regulus's voices hissed up from above. "Be quiet for Mara's sake and climb up here!" Scotty grabbed hold of the knotted double vine that hung down from a tall tree at the edge of the dead campfire. He scrambled it up as quickly as he could, holding his breath lest any grunt of exertion escape him. At the top of the vine, high above the village, was an abandoned nest from some great bird in a trident-shaped branch. As soon as Scotty had pulled himself into the soft, fragrant straw, Regulus pulled up the vine. No one else was there, and when Scotty looked down, he could see no one below. No one, that is, except the Khajiiti, slowly moving forward to the glow of the temple tree. "Thank you," whispered Scotty, deeply touched that competitor had helped him. He turned away from the village and saw that the tree's upper branches brushed against the mossy rock walls that surrounded the valley below. "How are you at climbing?" "You're mad," said Regulus under his breath. "We should stay here until they leave. And if they burn Vindisi like they did Athe and Grenos, we'll be dead sure as we were on the ground." Scotty began the slow, careful climb up the tree, testing each branch. "Can you see what they're doing?" "I can't really tell." Regulus stared down into the gloom. "They're at the front of the temple. I think they also have... it looks like long ropes trailing off behind them, off into the pass." Scotty crawled onto the strongest branch that would pointed towards the wet, rocky face of the cliff. It was not a far jump at all, so close in fact that he could smell the moisture and feel the coolness of the stone. But it was a jump nevertheless, and in his history as a clerk, he had never before leapt from a tree 100 feet off the ground to a sheer rock. He pictured in his mind's eye the shadows that had pursued him through the jungle from their heights above, how their legs coiled to spring, how their arms snapped forward in an elegant fluid motion to grasp. He leapt. His hands grappled for a rock, but long thick cords of moss were more accessible. He held hard, but when he tried to plant his feet forward, they slipped up skyward. For a few seconds he found himself upside down before he managed to pull himself into a more conventional position. There was a narrow outcropping jumping out from the cliff where he could stand and finally exhale. Regulus, Regulus, Regulus. Scotty did not dare to call out. In a minute there was a shaking of branches and Lord Vanitch's man appeared. First his satchel, then his head, then the rest of him. Scotty started to whisper something, but Regulus shook his head violently and pointed downward. One of the Khajiiti was at the base of the tree, peering at the remains of the campfire. Regulus awkwardly tried to balance himself on the branch, but as strong as it was exceedingly difficult with only one free hand. Scotty cupped his palms and then pointed at the satchel. It seemed to pain Regulus to let it out of his grasp, but he relented and tossed it to Scotty. There was a small, almost invisible hole in the bag, and when Scotty caught it, a single gold coin dropped out. It rang as it bounced against the rock wall on the descent, a high soft sound that seemed like the loudest alarm Scotty had ever heard. Then many things happened very quickly. The Cathay rat at the base of the tree looked up and gave a loud wail. The other Khajiiti followed in chorus, and the cat below crouched down and then sprung up to the lower branches. Regulus saw it below him, climbing up with impossible dexterity, and panicked. Even before he jumped, Scotty could tell that he was going to fall. With a cry, Regulus the clerk plunged into the ground, breaking his neck on impact. A flash of white fire erupted from every crevice of the temple, and the moan of the Bosmeri prayer changed into something terrible and otherworldly. The climbing Cathay rat stopped and stared. "Kyrgo!" it gasped. "The Wild Hunt!" It was as if a crack in reality had opened wide. A flood of horrific beasts, tentacled toads, insects of armour and spine, gelatinous serpents, vaporous beings with the face of gods, all poured forth from the great hollow tree, blind with fury. They tore the Khajiiti in front of the temple to pieces. All the other cats fled for the jungle, but as they did so, they began pulling on the ropes they carried. In a few seconds' time, the entire village of Vindisi was boiling with the lunatic apparitions of the Wild Hunt. Over the babbling, barking, howling horde, Scotty heard the Cyrodiils in hiding cry out as they were devoured. The Nord too was found and eaten, and both Bretons. The wizard had turned himself invisible, but the swarm did not rely on their sight. The tree the Cathay rat was in began to sway and rock from the impossible violence beneath it. Scotty looked at the Khajiiti's fear-struck eyes and held out one of the cords of moss. The cat's face showed its pitiful gratitude as it leapt for the vine. It didn't have time to entirely replace that expression when Scotty pulled back the cord and watched it fall. The hunt consumed it to the bone before it struck the ground. Scotty's own jump up to the next outcropping of rock was immeasurably more successful. From there he pulled himself to the top of the cliff and was able to look down into the chaos that had been the village of Vindisi. The hunt's mass had grown and began to spill out through the pass into the valley, pursuing the fleeing Khajiiti. It was then that the madness truly began. In the moon's light from Scotty's vantage, he could see where the Khajiiti had attached their ropes. With a thunderous boom, an avalanche of boulders poured over the pass. When the dust cleared, he saw that the valley had been sealed. The Wild Hunt had nowhere to turn but on itself. Scotty turned his head, unable to bear to look at the cannibalistic orgy. The night jungle stood before him, a web of wood. He slung Regulus's satchel over his shoulder and entered. Wow! We've got to find chapters 1, 2 and 3 of that, because that was pretty cool, if not really long. You know what? Just for you, I'm going to bump the length of this video up by about 10 minutes, so that we actually stand a hope of finding this cube. Because, that was a big diversion. But not one I regret, because that was a cool story. Commenter who gave me the, inspiration to read more of these out. Thank you. But also, if you're now incredibly bored at me slowly reading out stories that you probably already know, I apologise. You can feel free to skip them. I won't be upset. Anyway, this fucking cube! Let's get back to it. Still plenty of stuff we haven't seen, so I'm not too worried just yet. Let's go up here. Or should we go down there? Well, we shouldn't go down there because there's nothing down there. Which means that... have we already been up here? I feel like we didn't pursue this up here after I asked someone a question. Okay, so I've met this person before. But all this looks dark. I remember that bed, but I can hear something else. I think there's... oh, that's just some machinery over there. And yet, we haven't been in this room apparently, so keep your eyes peeled for anything. I expect the cube is going to be somewhere a little more obvious than some random room. It'll probably be like a nice back room with a spooky boss in it. Sort of thing. Been here before? Yes, we have. And am I right in thinking? Oh no, we're at the entrance. I understand. We're at the entrance. Cells of Hollow Hand sounds like something we haven't really been to before. See if there's any way we can get ourselves there. Did I come up here before? I don't think I did. Nope. Nice. Nice one. Get the coin. There's always a coin. Let's head in there. Boy, I am getting... oh, fuck! Alright, you spooked me, but now that the initial jump is over, you don't spook me, because I know that you're going to be weak. I know it. But yeah, if the quality of me is starting to flag, I've been editing and recording and just doing a whole lot of video stuff for a long time now today. Ooh, more scrolls of unhinging. Nice. So I can unlock some chests if I see it. Very good. So yeah, I've been doing a lot today. I'm getting a bit sleepy, which is a shame. There's, well, not sleepy, just fucking tired. There's more videos I'd hope to do today. Maybe I can allow myself a couple of hours break. Maybe. Maybe I can do that. Fortunately, it looks like there was a whole lot of nothing here. Right, keep a steady eye out just in case there is a cube in plain sight. Like there! Oh yes, Dwemer puzzle box. Alright. So in a way, I was right. I didn't have to explore much of this place at all. But I ended up exploring much of this place, and I don't regret it, so off we go. Let's go back to him, see what he's got to say next, and then I think that's a good, organic point to end this video. I'm happy. That was a good little adventure we went on. But no challenge. No challenge at all in the fights. So I'm going to stick to my word. Let's bump this up. Oh, that... how high does it go? Alright, 100. So let's bump it up 20%. Yeah? Bump everything up 20%, see how that feels. If that then gets ridiculous, I'll bump it back down. But I'm going to try and avoid bumping it down as much as possible because that'd just be cheap. Oh, have I gotten lost? I thought I was on my way back outside, but I guess not. Weeping Bell Hall, Weeping Bell Hall. Okay, I just took a wrong turn. No problem, no problem. But yeah, as I was saying, like I don't want the difficulty to just be a slider that I... Now I'm definitely lost. No, I'm not. Not lost. Just took the wrong door again, basically. I want to be sort of there. But anyway, let me finish my thought. I don't want the difficulty slider to be something I just mess around with on like a fight-to-fight basis, because then difficulty has no meaning. So I've shifted it up 20% because I made it through an entire thing with like no challenge. If I then go on to find a fight that is too difficult for me, I will honour the fact that I've increased the difficulty, and I will go looking for like an alternate quest to do, something to make my character stronger. And if that also fails, now I thought this was where I came from. I'll figure it out. But anyway, what I was saying was, yeah, I will look for all other alternative quests and fights, etc. But if I just lock myself in a corner where, oh shit, I can't do anything anymore, then yeah, the difficulty will go back down, but it will be a last resort sort of thing. Not something I'm just going to do willy-nilly. And I'm actually going to be right back, because I've somehow lost myself this place. I could swear I was right near the entrance, but I guess not. Oh wait, I'm a fool. I am right near the entrance. I am right near the entrance, it's just up here. There we go. No problem at all. But now I'm going to be right back anyway, because I've got to go back. But I just wanted you to know how quickly I figured it out, okay? Oh, actually, let's stay with you for just a moment to see if we can actually get out or not. I'm curious about this. What actually happens? Oh, okay, we're just out. Cool. See ya! Okay, here we are. One use of my amazing necklace that gets me right back to Balmora, or indeed, the closest temple. Later, we're here.
Hello there. A pleasure.
Well, hello. Guess what I've got? Perfect. Just what I was looking for. Just let me take this Dwemer puzzle box, and then I'll tell you what Caius will want to know about the 6th house, and about the Nerevarine. By the way, the inscriptions on the box seem to be directions for setting a Dwemer key to open a specific lock. If you're interested, after you've delivered your report to Caius, come back, and maybe I'll have a key you can take back to Arkenthand. Alright, cool, yeah. You have tempted me with a return visit. I hope it's not that thing that I just used the scroll on, but I'll definitely go back and look, and if there's anything interesting in there, you'll definitely know about it. Don't you worry. So let's have a look. The Ashlanders believe a reborn Nerevarine will unite the Dunmer against the Outlander invaders and restore the Dark Elven nation. Nerevarine is a legendary hero and saint of the Temple, but the Temple denies the prophecy, and persecutes heretics who believe in the Nerevarine. Tell Caius that Shan Gra Musgob would be a better person to ask about the native faiths and superstitions. House Dagoth is the 6th house, the lost 6th house. In the First Age, House Dagoth betrayed the other great houses during the War of First Council, and was destroyed for their treason. I can answer any questions you have, but I'll also give you some notes to give to Caius, and recommend some 6th house references he should read. House Dagoth was the 6th of the 7 Dunmer great houses. Nothing remains of the 6th house. Its members were all slain or adopted into other great houses following their treason in the War of the First Council. Their clanstead was called Cogaroon. There's a list of cheat books. All of them will tell you something about the 6th house and how it ended. The War of the First Council, Saint Nerevar, Nerevar Moon and Star, The Real Nerevar. Try the bookseller Dorisa Darval over in the commercial district. She'll have at least some of these titles. Oh my god. Is next video just going to have to be like a story time video? I get all these books and we read all of them right there and now so we have context. I'm up for it. Are you up for it? I'm kind of up for it. Let's see if there's anything else. Alright. Dagoth was the leader of the extinct 6th house, House Dagoth, the traitor house destroyed in the War of the First Council. Dagoth is the evil, immortal enemy of the Tribunal Temple cult. The Temple... The Temple blames Dagoth and his hosts for all the evils that beset the Dunmer and Morrowind. Dagoth dwells in the fiery caverns beneath Red Mountain, served by his kin and legions of monsters. The disappearance of the dwarves predates imperial written records. Dunmer oral accounts record that the Dwemer were utterly destroyed by the gods for profane practices and impiety. Dwarven ruins are scattered across Tamriel, and weapons, armour, housewares, coins, and other items of Dwemer design are often found, but the circumstances surrounding the disappearance of the dwarves remains one of Tamriel's greatest mysteries. The Dwemer are fabled lost dwarven race, whose ruins and splendid artifacts are scattered across Tamriel. Elves use the term Dwemer, connoting variously deep delving, profound, and close counselled. Imperial usage is dwarven, derived in fable from the affectionate regard of the giant races for their little Dwemer friends. There are several Dwemer sites on Vardenfell, and many have found Dwemer artifacts. Weapons, armour, housewares, and coin, other items often found, prized by historians and antiquarians and very valuable. The Emperor, however, has declared all newly discovered Dwemer artifacts to be possessions of the Crown, and forbids their trade or sale. Now, smuggling Dwemer artifacts is treason, but smugglers will still risk execution for such a profitable crime. There are many Dwemer sites in Vardenfell, but the two largest are Mzuleft and Nchulenskmpabadu. Mzuleft is in the Sheagorad region, is cursed and dangerous, and access is forbidden. Npafachupadu is occupied by an expedition of the Imperial Archaeological Commission and is not open to visitors. Ooh, we have another history book as well. I'll add that as a story time video that I'm definitely going to do now. I won't bore you blathering about history, that's what Caius is for, but if you're really interested, try On Morrowind, the Imperial Province, by Ereman Way of Sunhold. I have an extra copy you can have. What an adventure like you really needs is a sense of current events. Who hates you? Where's trouble brewing? That's where opportunity lies for an outlander like you. The great houses hate each other. Theft, murder, assassination, secret raids. Standard stuff. The temple is trying to kill off a rebellious faction called the Dissident Priests. Ashlander nomads raid each other, attack traders and pilgrims. A secret cult is killing off Imperial citizens. All bad enough. The real problem, though, is the Blight. Monsters and diseases. The natives say it comes from Red Mountain. It's been a local problem for years, but lately it's gotten really badly out of control. Alright, we sort of know all this. We know all this. Yep, cheap books. Don't you even worry about it. So we're done. We've got a good chunk of lore. We're really starting to build a narrative and story. We're getting there. And next video, feel free to skip the next video when you see it on your feeds, because I can guarantee it's pretty much going to be full of me reading books at this rate. But it's important. Setting up the context of what we're doing is important. Bashing dwarven spiders and ruins is great, but unless we have a compelling reason to do it, we might as well not do it. So thank you for watching, and I will see you later. Jesus, I've been talking for too long today.